That chair is a launching pad. You
think the Rams are going to call me?
maybe. Voice up. Let's start with, as a former voice of the Gulls, let's start with their Game 5 win last night.
Yeah.
Boy, it was a story about goaltenders, healthy goaltenders. The Gulls caught a big break, and that Ontario ran out of healthy keepers.
Ontario comes in with, their second-string goaltender, and he gets hurt in the warm-ups. And luckily, hockey has advanced from where it was when I used to call the games. That's how old we are. But back in the day, your backup to your backup was like your equipment manager. So if your backup got hurt, you dressed up the equipment man and put him in front of the net. So at least Ontario had a real goalie to play, but the Gulls definitely took advantage. Good for them.
We're big Gulls fans around here. We're always hearing about how popular they are and how they're rising up the ladder here on the San Diego sports scene. Yet I couldn't help but notice for Game 5, a lot of empty seats at the Valley View Casino Center. How is it that this is the hot team on the rise and was so poorly attended for the first Game 5 in franchise history?
I think it was just a combination of everything coming together. First of all, Game 4 was played on Monday night, so they had one night to get ready for Game 5. Not a lot of time to sell tickets, and not a lot of time.
Why not have a $2 beer night or something?
And that's another thing. Back when we did the Gulls, anyway, the Players Association took some of the pot from the playoff ticket sales. So what happens is you discount tickets during the regular season, like you say, the $2 night. You can't discount during the playoffs. So people that are used to paying a lower price can't find that ticket for a playoff.
So Gulls fans will support the team at this price point, but they won't support the team at this price point.
I think they might support it at this price point if that was always the price point. Right? I mean, it's just human nature. If you're used to paying this much and then they all of a sudden want you to pay a little bit more, a lot of us won't do it.
Switching gears, the report card is out for the Chargers draft. Mel Kiper giving the club an A, or looking at a variety of scores there. Do you grade drafts at all, Chris?
No. Well, if Mel Kiper gave the Chargers an A, then just give them the Super Bowl rings, right? Yeah. They just get it automatically. And yes, I do grade drafts. I grade them all. Every team gets an I for incomplete. Because it takes 3 or 4 years to really find out whether a draft is good.
Fair enough.
And that's how I look at it. I think the biggest misconception about a draft, and I'll use the Chargers as an example, they drafted 3 offensive linemen and 2 safeties. So all the Charger fans say, man, we loaded up on offensive line and DBs. That's not really true.
Only if they can play.
Only if these guys are good players, and we won't find that out until the season starts.
The draft sound bites after the athletes were picked, the draft was still taking place at Chargers Park, but the media was not invited there. In fact, state-run media would, after a pick was made, Telesco or whatever would appear on state-run media. Are you surprised at how abruptly and with such great finality the Chargers' focus has moved from San Diego to LA and just basically kissed the fan base in a 54-month or 54-year relationship?
I'm not surprised, because the Chargers do a lot of things that surprise me.
Why not market to both places?
But they should. They should still try to keep a little arm around San Diego. I mean, still try to pull in some of the fan base that's still left here. Go up to LA and watch some games. But I think that the Chargers feel such hatred from San Diego, from most of this population
just trying
here.
To avoid it?
They're just trying to avoid us.
Well, maybe there's.
But they shouldn't.
5 o'clock hour, we had Del Mar Racing Secretary David Jerkins in that seat. We were talking about winning the Triple Crown and how tough it is, because your horse, who has won the first 2 legs, often is running against horses that are fresh, that were kept out of the first 2 legs. Take a listen to this montage of sound bites. I want to get your reaction.
If you've got a horse that earns points to run in the Kentucky Derby, those 20 horses that start in Kentucky are the only 20 eligible to run in all 3.
No, I disagreed with those comments. I mean, part of the Triple Crown is the challenge of what it presents, and the new shooters that you'll encounter in the Preakness and the Belmont.
So, your take on that was obviously California Chrome's people who.
First of all, California Chrome will always be a great horse. He just won't be a Triple Crown horse. Second of all, they just won the Triple Crown a couple years ago, so it can be done. California Chrome just didn't do it. I would love to, in a perfect world, I'd love to see all the same horses run in all 3 races and battle it out, but it's not a perfect world, and that's the way things go. Too bad.
Grueling test to run 3 times.
It's a tough deal, and you got to beat some fresh horses in the Belmont.
Big story in let's quickly talk about LeBron James, greatest ever.
Well, greatest ever, he's not. I don't think now. Jordan still got that title, but if you ask me my all-time top 5 and like my starting 5, LeBron James is in it for sure.
How about your Mount Rushmore?
Now I only get 4.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave Larry Bird off, and I'm going to go with Jordan, Magic at point guard. I'm going to have LeBron. And then to play defense, because all the other guys can score, I'll use Bill Russell in the middle to block all the shots.
You'll win a lot of games.
Yeah.
Big story in baseball, Adam Jones, Morse High, for folks who don't know, was treated offensively at Fenway Park. Racial epithets were hurled. This is how Adam responded.
If a person or persons are watching right now, what would you say to them?
Square up. Let's fight and get it over with.
But to the Fenway's faithful credit, very next night they give him a standing O. Is this a big problem in baseball, or is this a big problem in Boston?
I just am shocked. I can't say I'm shocked. I'm just surprised and disappointed that it's still a problem everywhere. Is it not? There's still a few bad apples out there. I think, look, if you're in San Diego, you're at a baseball game, you hear this kind of stuff being yelled at an opposing player, go do something about it yourself. Don't let a few bad apples make the entire city look bad, which is how Boston looks right now.
All right, you've got baseball to deal with tonight. We are done. Thank you very much.
We are.
Chris Elliott, we'll see you next week, Wednesday.
Okay.
So concludes the Sportscast in the 6 o'clock hour of the newscast. Back to you guys.